right, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Wednesday morning, hump day, y'all. I said the hump day. And we are, well, I'm getting started. It's 7:45, and I'm headed right off the street here to the very first one that we got. And we got two over here that we do. The same thing, same old thing every day, man. You know, same properties every 2 weeks, nothing thrilling, nothing, you know. It is what it is, man. I ain't gonna have a whole lot of talk this morning, though. We got a lot to do today. It ain't gonna be quite what we made yesterday. Probably around 850 or so, something like that. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I'll go on and get started, and yeah, it works out pretty good like that because, well, there's two properties, but everything ought to be pretty easy. Everything's getting a little bit easier. You know, the good turf grass is not growing hardcore like it was, so we're able now to pretty much zip through these yards. But a lot of the yards that I do are not, you know, good turf grass. It's just, you know, crabgrass and just, you know, just a mixture of. We got some bushes to do today. The good thing about the bushes that we got to do, well, we don't have to do them all. We're gonna have to get over there and see how we feel and all that. You know, we don't have to work that hard, really, because a lot of times on the bush job that we got, I'll break it up into pieces. Like we'll do half the bushes this time, and then the crepe myrtles next time. You know, kind of stretch it out just a little bit. You get more money that way, but it kind of lingers on the schedule too. So I really ain't got no time to be kicking it, y'all. I said I ain't got time to kick it. All right, y'all. So 40 minutes, man. $120, man. That ain't bad, man, at all. It ain't even 9 o'clock yet. It's 8:50, and Zach's already gone to the next one. Then I'm going to do another one, and then we're going to meet over at where we got to do the bushes. I ain't gonna say I got to do the bushes, but they got to get done. So yeah. What I got, man? What I got? So 70 degrees right now, man. See, I love this kind of weather, man. You know, out here, man, the work is not what gets to me. I don't mind the work, because if the work's too hard, then I'll buy a piece of equipment. You know, it's the heat. No matter what equipment you got, the heat is what gets you down here where I'm at. It will break you. It'll break you all proper, man. So, and that's why, you know, once I get ahead of everything, ahead of the game, I don't want to get behind. And that's what you're seeing right now, right? You're just seeing it as I'm doing it. But there's been a lot of times where, you know, they come this time of year or whatever, where we're way behind, where we got a bunch of rain or whatever. We got a nice little mix this year, though, so far. Well, we've been able to really, you know, work a lot, and, you know, and not be plagued by weather or anything. Just enough rain to keep things rolling, and yeah, that's what we do. So, and Zach, I tell you what, Zach's showing up, man. Ever since Francisco's left, you know, Zach's really been shining, man. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing. But the trick to me, you know, I'm trying to explain this in a way that don't sound controversial. The trick to me out here, y'all, when you got guys working for you, you got another vehicle that you're pulling around or whatever, you know, that you know, another rig, is especially when you got guys working for you, is you gotta kind of spread the work out a little bit, if you will, if that makes sense. You got to spread the work out, then you never get too high or get too low or get too far behind. There's a fine balance there for me, you know, and you know, my business is, you know, what it is, Chuck and 2 trucks, but we are able to do a lot of work because of our density and everything. So as all that changes, as I have grown, right, the density changes every year, everything changes, and it's not major hardcore. You know, you go from, you know, from crap to sugar. It's just subtle. It's subtle changes every year, you know, whether it be equipment or customer base. And in my situation, I can't speak for anybody else, but in my situation, it's always been a positive thing each season. It's been plus every year. It's growing a little bit, but you have to be patient, man, to grow a business to the point of where you can have guys working for you, or have a guy working for you, however, whatever, and be able to see down the pipe to see how much work you got coming. You got to weigh all this, man. You got to see how much work you got coming. You got to see how lucrative it is. You got to see what the weather's going to do, and you can't run out of work if you're me. I'm talking about if you're the owner. Now, back in the day, we would actually, well, I never ran out of work because I never had the consistency that I've had this year. Zach's never been as consistent in years past as he has been this year. And it shows. It really does. I mean, it shows. He's been very consistent, man. Yeah, he's had a few hiccups. We all do. But overall, man, you know, he's been very consistent. And Zach does a good job too, man. He's a lot more thorough than me. I'm just gonna be honest. He's a lot more thorough. Now, some of the things that he is not privy to is, like, he don't know what the customer expects. You know, he doesn't. You know, he doesn't. At the end of the day, he doesn't trust his own judgment sometimes. And sometimes, you know, it's just cutting grass, man. So at the end of the day, you want the property to look good when you leave, nice and neat, you know, and everything. So we need to cut this one today. So that's where Zach's going last. So I just added another $100 yard onto today, that quick, and that's going to help with Zach's money. And you know, my guy's been doing good though, man. I can't say he ain't, and y'all know if he was, I would tell you. So I mean, without my guy out here, man, I'd be in trouble, man. I'd have to hire somebody, right? Because I'm not willing to drop customers. I'm just not willing to do that right yet. If I ever drop customers, then I'm going to be committed to solo on the lawn care. And if I commit to solo on the lawn care, then we've got to get rid of some equipment, because it just don't make sense to keep it. See, I haven't committed to solo. And I ain't going to. Not yet. So I'll commit to solo when I have to. But we are, yeah, having a guy out here that's been out here for a long time, you know, is critical, man, to being efficient, man. Because Zach knows exactly what to do. It's almost like he knows what I'm thinking a lot of times. I know that might be spooky, but that's the truth, man. And then once you get a method down, when you got guys working for you, as long as they're paying attention and they're showing up, they got to show up every day, or I get an attitude. If I get an attitude out here with a guy because he's playing games with the business, with my livelihood, then I don't want to. I'm a lot harder to deal with, you know, because I take it all so personal, and that's something I might need to look at, but that's another video. You know, we talk about these guys, you know, that are, you know, got these businesses, and they're coming in the comments and they're saying you need to hire people, blah blah blah. Well, that's all gravy, baby. But if you, I guess one of the reasons why I'm having a hard time with hiring guys, keeping guys, or whatever, is because I feel a certain type of way about depending on labor for me to go. Depending on labor, basically what I'm doing is I'm depending on guys to make sure that we get the work done to run my business, you know. And that puts me in a weird spot because I'm a self-sufficient kind of guy. I'm just built like that, you know. And you know, if you get a lot of labor out here, a lot of good guys out here, or just a couple of good guys out here, then you get work for all these guys, right? For, you know, just say 2 or 3 guys, you get work for them. And but then what happens, just like what happened to me, it's just on a bigger scale. Then what happens is, what happens if they quit? What happens if they move? What happens if they just, well, Ray, you got to entice them to stay with more money and all that. Again, ain't nobody ever quit on me for money. It ain't never been because of money. Most of the time, the guys won't quit. They have to get fired. And it's usually some stupid crap that they just, they make mistakes. Rarely do I fire a guy out here because he made a mistake on a property. Now, if he made a mistake on a property and he's playing games about coming to work and he's lying and he ain't doing what he say he's gonna do, and he's just, you know, not showing, no call, no show, and you know, always needing money and all those things, then see, I get an attitude about all that. And then I don't want to generate work. And then what ends up happening is they end up quitting, or, you know, they just can't hang. Of course, to hear them say it's me because, you know, I demand or whatever. But you can ask anybody that's ever worked for me, they ain't never left or quit because I didn't pay them enough money. That's never been the problem. Sometimes they actually quit because they got too much money and more time than they've ever had in their life, and they don't know how to handle all that. That's happened a lot. So one mistake that I think I make is when I bring guys on, I'm paying them too much money from the very beginning. So it's harder for them to go up because they're almost at the ceiling when I bring them on. And I do that to entice them to come to work, right? To entice them, hey, I need help, blah, blah, blah. When really I ought to start them out a little bit lower, let them work in the 90 days or whatever, and then give them more money. You know, I just try to pay the guys good. But just the notion that I have to depend on, you know, 2 or 3 guys to come to work in order for the business to go, that's unnerving for me. Depending on one guy, well, okay. Depending on 2 or 3, and then what happens is you build the clientele up to support 2 or 3, you know, workers, right? And then what ends up happening is something happens and now you're down to 1 worker, but you got the clientele of 2 or 3. And since we're overachievers, we've got the clientele for 4 guys. And then what happens is you end up burning some bridges with your customers. That's what always happens. And see, I have kind of avoided that because I have stayed right there in the sweet spot. I don't know if it's so sweet, but in the sweet spot of not having too much work to where me and one guy can do all the work and not kill ourselves. There's a fine line there, because if I get too much more, you know, regular lawns, then, you know, especially if we were in May and I was getting all this work that y'all been seeing me get, then I would be a lot more I don't want to say stressed, but a lot more leery of taking on new work. See, this way, if you get work late in the year, late in the season, then you can just about try it out, especially if I'm talking about regular lawn maintenance. You can just about try the properties out, and if you like them, then going into next year, you might be able to excel. You know, you might be able to add them on and drop one that's not so profitable. I've done a lot of that over the years, where I'll get two right next door to each other, and that'll make it, and they're real close to my house, and then that'll make it where I don't have to go over here and do this $80. I can do two $75 ones here, saving all that drive time. Just saying. See, I'll get over here and get started on these bushes, with the new hedge trimmers, and then when Zach gets there, he can do the parts of the bushes I don't want to do. But I got the big church to cut this week too, and I'm trying to figure out how the best way we're going to do that on Friday. Well, I might move everything back because I'm trying to, claw and scratch at the schedule and get all this stuff done so I can have some Bobcat days. And tomorrow's going to be a light day, so after let me get through today, and I know that we're going to add that one on there. Let's just see. The more of the bushes I do, the more money that we can add on to the end of the day. Because the more bushes I get done over here, then the less Zach's got to work over here. Okay, y'all. So here we are. Y'all seen me do these bushes before. We just make them look like bullets, man. The little pedal them, and then I'll do both sides. I'm gonna work down here in that, and then when Zach gets here, he'll be doing those up there. So I'm gonna use the new hedge trimmers for now, so we can. Well, they're sharp, man. Right. Okay, y'all, so y'all see I got this bed, that bed, and I started working across the front of the house. I got almost to the steps. Gonna let Zach finish up the bushes. I got to get over here and cut this big yard next door here. Yeah, and then yeah. Hey y'all, so y'all saw what I got done. Now we're not cutting the crepe myrtles back hardcore, because it's not really the time to do that, but and this is a property that I've been doing for years and years, so I'm not worried about what some of the commenters might say about quality or you can't do this and all that. Y'all notice, if you look real close, I mean, y'all remember that that Japanese maple that we cut off up there? Y'all see it's already growing back. See that? So normally over here we just do the we do the yard, but we also do the bushes about 3 times a year. Now I done all the ones I showed y'all, and that's probably that's about half of them. I'm pretty quick with the hedge trimmers, man. Well, I just get it in my mind that I'm not going to stop until I get this bush done. Then I'll rest the trimmers for a second, count to 20 or whatever, and then I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do these 2, and then so on and so on and so on. I had to pace myself, if you will, but at the end of the day, I do pretty fast. I don't think that now Zach's pretty fast with the hedge trimmers too, and Zach's a lot younger than me, so but he's a lot more in tune with he wants them to be perfect, so he'll spend a lot more time than me. That's just I'm just being honest. Like I said the other day, you don't have to really be the best at any particular thing. You just got to be good. At people and making sure you do a good solid job, and I've done that right here. These look really good. But it's 10 o'clock and Let me see where we're at. Wait, man, you sitting in the damn truck while Zach's working. Well, I don't know what to say. That's how it be sometimes. And we should be done. I mean, dude, a lot of this is already done. I mean, Zach's having to do a little bit of cleanup. But that's the hardest part to me about the bushes. It ain't really trimming the bushes for the most part. Not when you got the right equipment, you know. But and you don't have to get on a ladder or nothing, you know. Cleanup is the most difficult. See, if I was Zach, I'd just pull that straight out. The grass is going to be easy over here, y'all. It ain't nothing, man. It ain't hardly growing. But I'll use the mower to help me clean up. But I got to get back on the mower. I got to get back out here and get on the mower and get over here, and I'm gonna cut the one next door. I gotta pee though, man. There ain't hardly no place to pee over here, man. I hate that, man. I never have that problem. It's a problem for old Ray. For old Chuck, man, that's a problem, man. You know. So $810 today, man. That's pretty good, man. For what? For the amount. I mean, and we're only doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties. Yeah. So, but those new hedge trimmers are freaking badass, man. It's been so long since I have actually, you know, had a new set of hedge trimmers other than the Milwaukee ones. Now the Milwaukee ones, just my take on them, they're good, but they don't last as long as the steel stuff. They just don't. They're just not. I mean, they're good if you're doing just a little bit of stuff, but and they, I mean, you can do a lot of work with them, but I'm talking about you know, how long they last out here. I ain't talking about battery power. I ain't talking about power or nothing. They're plenty powerful enough. They're not as powerful as the gas powered stuff, but you know, it rarely is anything as powerful as the gas powered. Yeah, I done done a pretty good bit, but the Milwaukee stuff just doesn't last as long. Period. It just doesn't. Y'all, it's a wrap, man. Looking pretty good. Now I didn't cut the crepe myrtles all the way back. She just wanted me to get them off the driveway, get some of the bulk off of them. We'll cut them back when it's cold. But yeah, I got this. All right, y'all. So this was the reason why I bought the new hedge trimmers last week, because I knew that I'd be over here this week, and we've been having some problems out of the, not problems, but they just don't cut that great, the other hedge trimmers. And we got another bush job too down on the $1 Million Street that we're going to be doing, and that I usually have 2 or 3 people and then me out there. Me and Zach can do a lot of work, man, in a short period of time, and we can even do it quicker. I mean, we're not at you know, peak efficiency or nothing. There's a couple things that I did over here that cost me a little bit of time, and a couple things Zach did too that cost us a little bit of time. Not just time, but work. You know, like I had to go back to the truck a couple times. You know, if I had the weed eater with me, or you know, gas in the weed eater or whatever, then I wouldn't have had to do that kind of thing. So, but we can do a lot of work, man, in a short period of time. We really can, man. Especially the way having 2 vehicles out here is I mean, you can get done a lot quicker. We try to get to a certain amount of money based on, you know, the route or whatever we got going on that day, and then once we hit that number, then it's all good, you know. Anything above that's cool, but that number that we hit is usually a good number if that's the target number for the day. And sometimes, like today, I did add one extra one in there that Zach's doing now. See, I did that so we could go on and get that one out of the way for tomorrow. Well, it's just part-time, man. You know, Chuck's about, I'm out here part-time, man. I'm not out here 9 to 5 or nothing, man. I'm a part-timer with a full-time salary. I like that. Sounds good. You ain't got to make, you know, I mean, you ain't got to make $3,000 a day to make good money. Now, if you're a knucklehead with money and you give money away and you waste money on dumb stuff, then yeah, you might have to. See, I don't waste no money on nothing. All the money that I made today and yesterday, I won't spend any of it. All, like you said, everything except, you know, like when I get off work today and I go home, I don't go shopping every day or nothing. I just let that money stack, man. Just stack, stack, stack. A lot of times the guys that work for me, when they get off work, they spend more money than I do from the point of getting off work to the next morning. 94 degrees right now. It's hot out there today. Yeah. And it'll be like this all the way through September, man. You know, I mean, we'll be in the high 80s, man, all the way until October. All right, I gotta make a call, man. Kick back.